Today, we're going to be talking about one of the most useful components in FirePower, the TwwLookupComboEdit. This component allows you to display values generated from a related table in a drop-down list. And then after the user makes a selection, the value is then filled into the edited data source. So here, let me show you what the finished product will look like. So let's take a look at this right here. By the end of the video, this is what you will have accomplished and what you will have created. Is we now have our lookup company field, and so we can click on this, and from our drop down menu from our TwwLookupComboEdit, we can click on a different name. Let's click on Japan Trading Company, and it automatically is going to fill in the customer number because we're looking up a different table right here. And so we can change it to international software, and it also changes that. I could also type in a company if I was trying to search for something. Let's try to change it to HMS, and then it's going to fill in that, and then I can click on that, and it's going to change it to the correct customer number. So this is what we will have by the end of our video. And if you would like to already have the finished product, this will be on our blog that you can download this finished product of what I have right here, which will also have some of the code as well that you will see at the end of the video. So because this video is going to be a little bit more complicated than others, we're going to break this down into 3 steps. The first step is setting up the grid to use the orders table in our database. The second step is setting up the grid to display the descriptive text, which is the company name, from our customer table. And then last, we will be associating a LookupComboEdit component that will then be connected to the lookup field in the grid. So let's get started, starting off with step number 1. So our first step is setting up the grid to use the orders table in our database. And with any project, we need to start a brand new one, but we need to start a multi-device application because we are using the Firemonkey library. So we're going to add a TFD connection, and then we're also going to add 2 TFD tables. And I will just copy this. And then we're going to change the first table name to be orders table. And we'll change the second table, that name to be customer table. And then we're going to change the FD connection to be FP connection for FirePower connection. And then let's double click the FirePower connection, and we're going to go to connection definition name. We're going to go to FirePower SQLite. We're going to test the connection. You do not need a password. Press OK, and the connection established successfully should pop up. Now let's press OK. We're going to also then make the login prompt false so we don't keep getting a login prompt when we're trying to connect it. So now that it's false, we can go to customer table, go to table name, and we're going to make this FD customer. And then we're going to go to orders table, we're going to change the table name, and we're going to make that to orders. So now that we have both of those connected, we can now need to make sure that they are active. So we're going to go to customer table, active, so make that true. Go to orders table, and let's go to make that active as well. Now that we have both of those active, we can add our bind source. Make this bind source from customer table. Let's change the name to be BS customer. And let's change the orders table. We need to make sure that that has a bind source. And let's change the table name, change the name to be BS orders. Now that we got that, we can add our TW data grid, which is also in our product FirePower, but we're just going to showcase this with our data grid. And then we can, I'm just going to make sure that this is aligned to the client. And I'm going to make the data source show our BS orders, and then this will pop up. So that is the first step. We have set up the grid to use the orders table in our database. The next step is setting up the grid to display the descriptive text. We would like to have the grid display the company name from the customers table instead of the customer number from the orders table. And this can be accomplished by creating a lookup field in our order table. So I'm going to show you how to do this. What we first need to do is we need to go to our orders table and double click this. We will right click, add all the fields, but now we need to make sure we right click again and add a new field. So the name is going to be called Lookup Company, and then we're going to change the type to be string. The size will be 35 because this is consistent with what we have for our demo. Make the field type lookup, and then the key field is customer number. The data set will be customer table because that's what we'll be looking up. And then the lookup keys will be customer number because they both share that. But the result field will be company name, as this is what will be displayed. So we press OK, and then let's go to our data grid. So we'll double click this data grid, and we are going to add our lookup company field. So we press OK, and this is going to appear, and now we have this in our TwW data grid. Our last step is to use the FirePower TwwLookUpComboEdit to display the list of companies that the user then can select from when editing within the grid. So what we need to do is we need to add a TwW LookupComboEdit. We're going to drag that. Then we're going to change some of the properties. So we're going to change the name. Under events, we're going to change some of the properties. We're going to change the name to be LK company name. Let's then change the lookup field and source. The lookup field will be customer no, same as the lookup field that we had earlier. And we're going to change the lookup source to be the customer table from the bind source that was connected to be as customer. We then need to double click on the lookup combo edit, and we want to get rid of basically all of these fields except for what we want displayed. And what we want displayed is the company name. So we're going to delete this, delete that. Make sure company name is at the top because that whatever's at top will be displayed, and we want the company name to be displayed. So close that. We go then to our data grid, double click that, and we're going to go to lookup company. We're going to change the custom control to be LK company name. So we would basically be done, but we have to do one more thing before we run the program, because within SQLite it only allows one connection, so we need to make sure that we only have our connection active during runtime. So it's easy. What we're going to do is we're going to go to FPConnection. We're going to make this from connected from true to false. Customer table and orders table are now no longer active. And then what we need to do is we need to go to the form, we need to go to events, and we need to go to on create, and we're going to double click that. I already have the code ready to be pasted, so we're going to paste the code. And this is what we have. We have FPConnection.Connected equals true. We then have OrdersTable.Active equals true, and then CustomerTable.Active equals true. So now that we have this code, so now they're all going to be true when we run the program, let's go ahead and run the program, and you are going to see what we had at the very beginning of the video. So I have HMS right here. I can then select from this drop-down menu and then click on a different company. Let's choose International Software, and then it changes the customer number. You probably may not need this customer number here. You can keep it there if you want, but the lookup company is basically doing that, but it's displaying the name rather than the number. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for being a part of this. I hope that this helped. And if you do not have our product FirePower and are interested in maybe using a component like this with several other components that can help you save time, make sure to go on our website and download our free trial and have access to these components and see for yourself on what it can do. But make sure to check out our blog post. I also have the code for those of you that are interested in just copying and pasting the code within our description, and it will also be on the blog post. So make sure to check that out. But have a good rest of your day, and I hope to see you next time.